A famous drag queen, a mummy in the closet for more than a decade, and a baffling mystery with an insane plot twist. All of this will be explained in our video. But first, we must set the stage. Likely born in 1937, Dorian Currie was a drag performer and renowned dressmaker who graduated from Parsons School of Design. During the 1960s to 90s, Dorian created a name for herself in the Harlem drag ball scene. Dorian had a difficult life, struggling with acceptance while living in near poverty. But after years as a veteran drag queen, Dorian began mentoring younger performers and offering her support to her drag family through what she called the House of Currie, a haven where all were accepted and cared for. Dorian eventually appeared in the 1990 documentary titled Paris is Burning, where she spoke about the Harlem drag scene. Tragically, in August of 1993, Dorian passed away from complications due to AIDS at the age of 56. Her friend Lois Taylor had taken care of Dorian during her final days, but Lois had no idea that her close friend and pillar in the drag community was hiding a dark and disturbing secret. Despite being dead, Dorian's story was about to take a shocking twist. In October 1993, Lois and two friends went in search of the perfect Halloween costume. As Lois had been planning on selling some of Dorian's famed clothing from her years of performances, the extensive wardrobe in Dorian's Harlem apartment seemed to be the perfect place to look for costumes. Hunting through Dorian's closet, they found countless feathers and sequins, but also something hidden behind the racks of clothes. Within, Lois discovered a green and plaid garment bag folded and abandoned on the floor. Intrigued by what could be hidden within, she tried to pull the garment bag from the closet, but found that her 135 pounds couldn't lift whatever was within the bag. Undeterred, Lois sought out scissors and began to cut into the material. It isn't clear what Lois thought she would find, but when a foul-smelling puff of air escaped from the garment bag, she deserted her efforts to see what was within and called the police. Investigators collected the heavy and stinking garment bag and slowly peeled back multiple layers. Below the zipper were wrapped layers of a faux leather, which when cut away, revealed another layer of plastic. Tucked into the layers were pull tabs from the tops of beer cans that had been used in the 1960s and 70s. When it was all finally cut away, police were met with a gruesome sight: a mummified corpse. The mummified body was curled into the fetal position, wearing only the tattered remains of blue and white boxer shorts. The skin of the corpse had turned splotchy purple and yellow, the ears completely disintegrated, and there was a hole in the head from a bullet. Residue on the corpse indicated that it had been covered in baking soda, likely to help disguise the smell of the putrefying body before being wrapped within layers and then shoved into the garment bag. The body appeared to have been hidden in the recesses of Dorian's closet for a couple decades, at least 15 years, but likely over 20. Even though the corpse was decomposed beyond recognition, but the investigators suspected in Robert Bobby Worley. By all accounts, there was no plausible reason for Dorian and Bobby to have known each other, never mind a way too logically. Explain how Bobby ended up dead and mummified in the closet of a stalwart drag performer. Though the evidence appeared that it was likely that Dorian had been the one to kill Bobby, as she presumably lived with his body in her closet for decades, no one around the drag performer would have thought she was capable of such a heinous crime. Theories about what happened between the two swirled, and some who knew Dorian claimed that she couldn't have been the one to kill him, but was actually protecting the real killer. This theory includes the fact that Dorian moved apartments in 1988, during the period when Bobby's body would have already been mummified. Rather than lugging a corpse undetected between apartments, this theory maintains that Dorian moved into an apartment where the body already was, and rather than call the police, she kept it a secret. Another theory, one that is more believable but still purely speculation, is that Bobby may have attempted to rob Dorian, and she could have ended up killing him in self-defense during the ensuing struggle. Allegedly, Dorian had attached a note to the body saying that, "This poor man broke into my home and was trying to rob me." But the existence of this note was never verified. However, there is one detail of Bobby's body that may be the hint to the true nature of how Bobby and Dorian knew each other. His body was found wearing only boxer shorts, and the way that he was shoved into the garment bag led investigators to believe that he hadn't been wearing other clothing at the time of his death. ruling out the chance that he had tried to rob Dorian in only his underwear. Investigators came to the conclusion that the two could have been in a tumultuous relationship, one that purportedly ended in a crime of passion and Bobby being shot. There is other evidence towards this theory, such as Dorian's semi-autobiographical story about a transgender woman who killed her lover, which was possibly written about her and Bobby. As well, before he vanished, Bobby had reportedly called his brother while drunk and complained about a fight with someone named Dorian. Though we may never know exactly what could have motivated Dorian to allegedly kill Bobby and decide to live with his mummified corpse for decades, most thinks Dorian is the one behind Bobby's death.